Hey everyone, it's the Chinnist. A very happy new year to everyone. It is January 3rd, 2018, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 17 with 14 different titles. I have read this stack, so yeah, getting into it. Starting off with DC, we have Superman. I typically do not pick up this title, picking it up due to the Sons of Tomorrow's storyline here. This is an excellent story arc so far. So I think this issue is actually my most favorite issue that I read this week. So you have Tim Drake of Tomorrow coming in trying to kill Jonathan. Jonathan apparently has a solar flare power, which he just kind of showed this last issue, similar to the new Superman 52, to where they kind of store up the solar energy and they let it go like in one burst. Apparently he's not able to control it if his emotions get out of whack and kind of gets into like just this nuclear explosion. So that actually happens in the future. He kills, millions of people. So you have the Teen Titans of Tomorrow coming in trying to prevent that from happening. But it's really Tim Drake, trying to murder Jonathan, so that never really occurs. So man, this really comes to a point here in this issue here. There's one more issue to conclude this overall story arc, but man, this issue was excellent, man. 5 out of 5 for this week. So yeah, Superman. Okay, next up, Justice League. So this follows that first story arc. I'm sorry, I forgot what it was called, but by Priest, who kind of took over this new title from Brian Hitch, and art by Woods. And that last issue, the artwork was kind of hit or miss for me. Man, this issue, man, the artwork I thought was excellent. This the storyline here, I forgot what it was called. I think it's like I think it's Justice League versus the House or something of that nature, but a People versus Justice League. So yeah, so you kind of have, similar to like the Avengers, to where, hey, you have all this destruction, things are happening, innocent people are getting hurt by the, collateral damage. So, you kind of have, a lot of tension within the Justice League as far as what they should do. So, kind of straight out of the Avengers, storyline there, but man, this one pretty much did it justice in my opinion. So yeah, Justice League. Okay, next up we have a number 1, Batman and the Signal. So I have not been keeping up with Batman Detective Comics too much at all, and I believe that's where Signal kind of came in. So this guy has been around for a while, and I just didn't really know anything about him. I didn't really know anything about his powers until I read this issue here. Pretty cool guy. Overall concept, you have Batman, who's been training this guy for a while, and I forgot what this guy's name. It's not Wes. Is it Damien? No, it's not Damien. Duke? I think it's Duke. But so he's been trained by Batman for quite some time now, and he kind of wants to break off on his own. Batman sees a need. Batman's able to control the nighttime, but during the day, he just doesn't have that under control. So he's asking the Signal to go out, and the Signal actually has superpowers. So he's asking Signal to kind of go out there during the day and try to face down those newer superpowered kids who are coming onto the streets at this point in time. Kind of like a first line defense. And again, everything's going to be focused during the day. But pretty cool, so he's not really Robin. He's kind of more like an alternate Batman, in my opinion. But yeah, pretty cool. I think I am going to actually pick up a number 2. I didn't really think I was going to go beyond number 1, but man, intriguing enough to pick up a number 2 for me. Okay, last up from DC, this is just a spec buy. This is Green Lanterns. I, again, do not pick up this title as a normal ongoing pickup, but this introduced, I believe, a new villain, which you see here on the cover. Don't know what her name is, but yeah, picked it up just for a spec buy. Notice it was sold out online. Okay, from the Marvel run, we have X-Men Grand Design. Man, I really love that first issue. This one really picked, if you like that number 1, number 2 was excellent as well. I've heard a lot of mixed things. I heard there was only going to be like a 2-issue series, but then I also heard it was going to be a 4-issue series. It was just going to take a while for issue number 3 and 4 to get out. So don't really know what the true story is there. So what you have here is this is from the Watcher's perspective of kind of like the overall boiled down, here's a storyline of the X-Men from what he saw. So this is pretty cool, man. So this kind of goes throughout the X-Men history, and this kind of follows X-Men number like, X-Men number 10 through, I think it's like number 66 or so. Pretty cool stuff. So like every single thing that happened in every single issue, you kind of see here, kind of like boiled down to a few frames. Sometimes it's a couple pages, sometimes it's only but a few frames. But man, very, very cool stuff, man. If you are an X-Men fan, this really gets back to the roots of like who they are, how they started out. Pretty cool stuff. So you have this printed out like on this newspaper, stock quality paper. Not really newspaper. It's not as, it's more dense than newspaper. And I like how the white, anything that's actually white, like really pops out on this yellow pages. Of course they intended for these pages to be yellow, but I really like how the white kind of stands out. So yeah, man, really cool stuff. If you are an X-Men fan, you have to pick this up, Go get that number 1. It's still on the shelf. And X-Men Grand Design number 2. Okay, next up, and I think everything from Marvel this week was all X-Men. So XMen Gold. And so I am picking up all the X-Men titles that are out there right now. I love them all. So this one kind of continues in the negative zone. You have this main character, and I forgot what his name was. Was it Gogoloth or something like that? Like Golgoth? Something like that. But he's actually alien, and he's a mutant from an alien world. So he was actually exiled to Earth. Got into a skirmish, his alien race picked him up, he went back home, and along the way they picked up Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler's kind of out of commission right now, he got injured last issue. But pretty cool. So, I really thought that this guy was going to be a long-term character. This issue kind of answers that question if he's going to be long-term or not. Kind of surprised me a little bit. But yeah, pretty cool action. So you have this god that's been released by that mutant that I just kind of talked about. And this guy's like the god of destruction on this world. So he's just kind of rampaging in, and you see the X-Men kind of stand up to the challenge, and they're gonna go against him. So yeah, man, great action. A lot, very action-packed in this issue here. XMen Gold. Okay, next up from Astonishing XMen, picked up a few variants. So picked up this store incentive, and this one's going for like $25 online. So this is Phil Noto as the cover artist here for this incentive. Pretty cool cover. Then I forgot who, Macheto, I think, was the cover artist for this one here. So another variant. This was not a store incentive. I think this is just a 1-for-1. Then I also picked up the Psylocke trading card, and I think these are pretty cool. So yeah, love Psylocke. So Astonishing XMen storyline, just okay in my opinion. It's been great so far. So if you spoiler here for this one, Xavier is now back. X killed him, Scott Summers killed him off, a couple years back. So his mind, they explained that his mind was actually in the astral plane fighting the Shadow King. In this past issue, what he actually did was his mind went into Phantom X, and Phantom X's mind went into the astral plane. So Professor Xavier is back, and I didn't really, I'm not a fan of how they brought him back. And, as soon as he comes back, he's talking to everyone, and they're like, hey, who are you? Talking to Rogue, and, they're like, oh, Charles Xavier back. He's like, don't call me Charles, call me X. I think that's just stupid, man. It just doesn't seem like it's realistic, dialogue, in my opinion. So yeah, Xavier's back. I didn't really enjoy how they brought him back, and this kind of explains another change here is there's I guess a psychological change for Angel, if you're a Angel fan. So yeah, man, again, good stuff on the X-Men side. I just don't really like how they brought back Xavier, but apparently he's back. He's going to be here for a while. So yeah, pretty cool stuff overall. Just kind of question how they did that. Okay, last up from Marvel, we have Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan, I really highly recommend you go pick this up. Go check out the trades at this point in time. We're pretty far deep into this one. So this one takes us back to the planet of Jeddah. Again, this is kind of in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. So, man, great stuff. You have the Empire. They released this this huge, mind stripping type of device. They're going to be screwing up, this. There is some culture here on that planet. So you have Luke, Leia, Han, kind of teaming together to try to destroy this this new imperial monster, so to speak. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. If you're a Star Wars fan, again, pick it up. Okay, from Image, Rock Candy Mountain. So yeah, by Kyle Starks, man, great. Man, so he does both the storyline and he does the artwork in here as well. He doesn't always do the artwork. I found a couple of storylines where he was just the writer. But man, hilarious stuff. If you have not picked this up, apparently there is only going to be one more issue. They explain at the very end, there's only one more issue to kind of close up this this title. So it's only going to be I think this is issue number 7. I don't see the number anywhere, but I think this is issue number 7. So only an 8-issue series here. Hilarious stuff, great action, but man, the humor that's here, man, I love it. So yeah, Kyle Starks, man, I love his humor, man. Okay, next up from Image, Extremity. So yeah, cool storyline. This entire storyline is really based on revenge. It's excellent, fantasy type of artwork that kind of goes along with this Mad Max, post-apocalyptic type of world. Kind of like Mad Max and like steampunk, kind of like, merged together. Great stuff here. You have the main character, Thea, who kind of broke off with her brother, and, they like in the middle of the battle, they kind of left their father, and the father, he went complete revenge. He has just red in his eyes. He's treating his children horribly at this point in time. So they felt that he was just a douchebag, so they just kind of left him in the middle of battle. They're off on their own, and that little robot that they kind of befriended, you find out there's like a transformation that he kind of goes through, and man, great storyline. So yeah, Extremity. Okay, from IDW, Transformers versus Visionaries. Man, I used to love, obviously I love Transformers, as a lot of y'all did. Visionaries was this this other cartoon that came out as Knights of the Magical Light. Man, I love that show. I had quite a few of the action figures that kind of came along with that one. I actually still have a few action figures still in the box from that toy line. So man, love that cartoon. So I tried to jump into the Transformers world. Man, there was just like so much history. I was just completely lost. So I kind of jumped out of it. I did that Revolutionaries or Revolution crossover that kind of happened, I guess last year. Man, was not a fan. So anyways, this kind of picks up where Transformers is today, and there's enough exposition to kind of let you know like what happened there. So don't feel lost if you're not picking up or continuing with the Transformers. You can still pick this up and not feel lost. Good, good setup issue here. My only disappointment was the Knights of the Visionaries never called, they never use their magic. They never called, use their staffs or anything. They have magic, they just didn't use it like in the cartoon. So a little bit disappointed in that, but good dialogue, good storyline, good setup so far. So I am going to pick up a number 2. I think I am going to subscribe to this one actually. So yeah, Transformers versus Visionaries. Next up from Aftershock, Babyteeth. So man, this title, Donny Cates, I love almost everything that Donny Cates has put up so far. This title started like a little bit slow, but man, it got really, really good. A lot of action here that's occurring at this point in time. Man, great stuff. Good artwork to go along with it as well. So what you have here, the baby, which is like the devil, kind of born into human form. You have various factions fighting to keep the baby alive. You have other factions trying to kill the baby, knowing that it's an Antichrist. You have the mother who's kind of in between, just trying to keep her baby alive. So man, pretty cool stuff. In this issue, you find out that the mother, on the father's side, his lineage goes pretty deep, and apparently they knew about this. That they've been, the family's been prepped to kind of take on the Antichrist, or to raise the Antichrist in somewhere in their bloodline. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. I really suggest if you are a Donny Cates fan so far, try to pick this one up. And the first trade is out on this one. So yeah, check it out, Babyteeth. Okay, got one from Dark Horse, Giants. So this is number 2. If you like kaiju, check this out, man. So I love all types of, huge Japanese, I love Japanese anime, start off with. I love all types of kaiju, all types of, giant robo type of cartoons, comics, you name it. So this is straight out of the kaiju world. This really has like an anime feel to it. So you have the two, I thought they were brothers. Apparently they're just friends. They were separated at the very end of the last issue. One went to the above world. The other one went back to the sub-city. And the people who lived in the sub-city had no clue. They thought if they went up on top, they, I guess, instantly be killed by the kaiju. They didn't think they could survive up there. You find out that the one of the guys who I guess who did survive up on top, he ran into a whole group of kids, and they've been living there their entire lives. So complete revelation to that guy. You had the other kid go back to the underworld. So I guess you're going to see like the two paths that they're going to be taking at this point in time. But pretty cool stuff. You get a little bit more explanation on the kaiju who I guess owns the city. They're very, very territorial. So this kaiju came in and just kind of ran out the other kaiju that were kind of patrolling in the city area. So yeah, again, if you like kaiju, man, check this one out, Giants. Okay, last up from Valiant, we have Secret Weapons. This is number 0. So Secret Weapons, this title already concluded. I think it only went maybe 7 issues, if I recall that one correctly. So in the Zero, tradition that comes out at the end, they kind of go back and give you like a little backstory of how it all started. And man, this one was awesome. So this one follows Nikki, and Nikki, just to explain this, set this up a little bit. So this is back in the Harbinger world. The humans that have powers, they are called Psiots, and Psiots are very similar to the Marvel mutants. Except in this world, their power has to be unlocked by either another Psiot or by machinery. So you already know that this girl's power is the ability to talk to birds, which seem completely useless. So you get her backstory, Nikki's backstory, and I love this panel layout system. This entire comic is just the 4-panel system, the horizontal 4-panel system throughout this entire comic. Man, I thought that was pretty cool, man. I really enjoyed that. But you really get into her psyche, why she went through this process, because there is a possibility of dying when you go through this process, and they all know it as well, But if they get it, they get, promised all these great things by Harada later on. So it's pretty funny how she's trying to figure out, what her power is when she finally figures out, oh, she's able to talk to birds. So yeah, if you enjoy Harbinger, man, you need to go check out the Secret Weapon title. If you checked out Secret Weapons already, pick up this number 0. You will not be disappointed. So guys, that's going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.